Happy Sunday. It's hard to believe we're starting another week tomorrow. I do believe that it's going to start to feel a little bit more regular, for as weird as this all is, but I think that there will be some good news in that. That being said, I've spoken about it before, and the whole country has been discussing the fact that this week things are going to get tough. These next two weeks, they're saying that these could be some of the toughest weeks that we as a country face. And as I said before, I think we really need to be prepared for that, mentally, emotionally, because it will be challenging. You know, it's interesting. I had something happen this weekend that it was something that was really frustrating to me, but it kind of brought up something that I wanted to talk about tonight, kind of on this eve of a new week. I had a client that has to buy a house now. And we've been doing a lot of virtual work. And through that virtual work, we've identified a very specific type of home that he's looking for. And at the very end of last week, something came on that fit the description to a T. I asked for a video of it. We got video of it. I then, after we looked through the video, we decided it was good as we thought it was for him. He is out of state, so everything is virtual with him. So I went to the property. I did a Zoom conference and walked through the property. I basically gave him all of my notes and my advice on it. After all that, he decided it was still a great fit for him. And we proceeded to write an offer. Now, at the time, we knew going into it, there was already an offer on the place, so it was going to be a multiple bid. By the time we got their offer in, there was another offer, so we were one of 3 offers. We wrote a very compelling offer, a premium price, but a realistic price, not crazy. I always say in multiple bids, if somebody's going to throw a Hail Mary, we're going to let them throw a Hail Mary, and we're going to be smart and sensible in what we do. But we wrote a very, very compelling offer from a lot of different stances, and in a way that I knew it was going to be very hard to compete with our offer. And I went in feeling very confident on it. So afterwards, the next day, the agent sent me a text and said, "Hey, thanks so much. Your offer was fantastic. The seller really, really had a hard time, really wanted to choose you. But at the end of the day, one of my clients decided to write an offer on it as well. And we ended up reducing a commission to make the numbers more favorable for the seller. So they're going to go that way. If anything changes, we'll let you know." I was really frustrated to hear that for a lot of different reasons. First and foremost, just to put it out there, it is just on the right side of being ethical. For those of you that hear that and go, "Oh my God, that can't be ethical." It is. There's nothing that they technically did that is unethical. Of course, it doesn't feel good. And my bigger thing was that, and what I wanted to talk about tonight, and I think this is relevant for all of our industries. I know a lot of us are still working from home, is that this is the time that we absolutely need to be prioritizing our jobs and doing a great job there. But I think the one thing that we have to agree upon is that we need to prioritize our safety first. In addition to our safety, I think we need to prioritize kind of a little bit of kindness to one another. And really what frustrated me about this situation is I'm sure if I ask the agent right now, the agent's going to say, "Well, I did my best job for my client." But the fact of the matter is if the agent had a buyer for that property and was going to reduce a commission and make it next to impossible for anybody else to have a viable chance, well, I would have preferred not to go out and risk my own health. I would have preferred to not risk that seller's health. And I would have really preferred not to risk my own family's health when I came home. And absolutely, those are risks that we are knowing that we're taking every day. We're taking all the protocol to not make that risk any worse than it is. And I just felt like in this situation that, perhaps that was one of the situations where if I would have had more information going in that we really didn't have a chance, well, then I would have advised my client differently, and I would have advised myself differently in that instance. And it just made me think, as we're going into this next week, a week that we know is going to be hellacious, let's remember to just be good to one another. That is one thing that we can absolutely control in this. let's remember to prioritize everyone's safety and their health, and know that every one of our employers, I'm my own employer, but every one of our employers, even if it is yourself, would want to know that we're doing the right thing. This is a time to be kind to one another, and that's why every night I remind us of that. This week, next week, we are going to need the strength of one another. We are going to need to band together, and we are going to need to be good to one another more than anything. So as I said, this instance this weekend really made me remember that, made me prioritize what we needed to prioritize here. And that, my client, God bless him, he was so kind. At the end of the day, when I called him to tell him about it, he said, I'm really sorry that you went out there and you risked your health for this. I appreciate all that you do. And it was one of those things that I wanted him to get mad at this situation, but I so appreciated what he had to say. And as I've said before, I do have some of the most amazing clients in all of the city. But I just wanted to share that with people as we move forward this week. Let's remember to band together, because together that's how we're going to get through this. So on that note, let's remember to be kind. Be kind to yourself, be kind to one another, take care of yourself, take care of one another. This will be hard. This could be harder than some things that a lot of us have gone through, definitely as a country. This will be epic, but when we get through this, I want people to look back and say, God, did they do it well? Did they handle the crisis? Were they strong? Were they graceful? Were they leaders? And we can do that. To the medical personnel, you guys rock. To everybody out there making this work, thank you. From me to you, thank you. So I will see you tomorrow night. Be well.